The McStay family of four was living a happy life and had recently moved to a new house, which they had started renovating, wanting to make it into their dream home. Joseph had a newly business that was becoming really successful. They designed and installed water fountains. This gave him a chance to have a flexible schedule and be able to work from home. That way he was able to spend time with his family. On February 4th, 2010, Summer McStay and her husband Joseph McStay and their young sons Gianni and Joseph Jr. disappeared from San Diego, California. On February 9th, when their family and business partners hadn't heard from Joseph in 5 days, they sent a co-worker to the house to see if the family dogs were there. When the co-worker arrived at the home, he found both dogs outside with their bowls full of food, which led them to believe that the family had gone out of town and had someone who was caring for the dogs. On February 13th, it had been 9 days since anyone had heard from the McStay family. This time it was Joseph's brother who went to check on them at their family home. He found no signs of a break-in except a partially open window, which is what he used to get into the house. The family had only been in the house for 3 months and were still in the process of unpacking and doing renovations. Joseph's brother found no signs of the family, so he decided to leave a note for the person looking after the dogs and asked them to give him a call as he was concerned about his family. Later that night, he received a phone call from Animal Control, who were planning to take the dogs as they had been left outside without food for over a week. Turns out it was Animal Control who had left the food for them earlier that week. Summer and Joseph had not asked anyone to look after their dogs. Alarmed, Joseph's brother called the police and reported the family missing. As they loved their dogs, they would have never left them without food. The police searched the McStay family home after 11 days since they had been heard from. What looked normal to Joseph's brother was quite alarming to investigators. The lack of furniture and the state of the house, it was difficult to determine whether or not there had been a struggle. However, there was raw food left out, which seemed to indicate that the family had left in a hurry or had had the intentions to come back soon after. There were no signs of foul play and no evidence to determine whether the family went out or why they had left. Early in the week before the family disappeared, Summer had made plans to visit her sister, who recently had a baby. A family friend was helping them paint the house and left with the intention of returning on Saturday, February 6th, to finish the job. On Thursday, February 4th, the last day that the McStay family was heard from, Joseph attended regular work meetings. Cell phone records indicate that he drove home from the meeting and he continued to make calls into the evening. A breakthrough made by investigators when a neighbour's security camera caught the McStay's car leaving their home on the evening of February 4th. The car never returned to the home. Investigators discovered that the same car had been towed on February 8th for a parking violation near the Mexican border. They immediately seized the car and searched it for evidence. Inside, they found a relatively normal scene. There were a number of toys, and there was no sign of foul play. But the fact that they had left the car and the toys for 4 days after leaving home, so close to the Mexican border, was bizarre. In addition, security cameras for the parking lot from which the car was towed confirmed that the car had not arrived there until the afternoon of February 8th. So there was 4 days of which the family was unaccounted for. Investigators discovered that neither of the family's car had travelled to Mexico in years. They believe that the family had not driven into Mexico during the 4 days that they have been unaccounted for. The family and the friends of the McStays did not expect them to be at the Mexican border. Summer had stated that she felt that Mexico was too unsafe and that she would never go willingly. A new discovery on border surveillance video changed the course of the investigation. Investigators found 4 people who resembled the McStays walking across the border at approximately 7 p.m. on February 8th, less than 2 hours after parking the car in the nearby parking lot. The video showed a male adult and a child walking in front of a female adult with another child. The sizes of the people appeared to match the family. When family members were called in to help identify the people on the video, they had mixed reactions. They recognized the children and Summer were the people in the video, but Joseph's mother believed that if the man in the video was Joseph, his hair would have been much bushier. Other than this, the family looked identical to the McStays. They were dressed similarly to the McStays, and the children were wearing hats similar to ones they had been photographed in. But several family members did not believe that the man in the video was Joseph. Investigators believe that the family pictured is likely the McStays, based on the analysis of family photos and home videos. Investigators believe that the family was willingly walking across the border with no indication that they were in any distress. Investigators searched for passport records of the family and discovered that Joseph had a valid passport that had not been used before or after the disappearance. Summer's passport was expired, and investigators could not find any records that she had applied for a new one. In addition, neither of the children had passports. Investigators found one of the birth certificates left behind in the home. It would have been impossible for the family to travel into Mexico with insufficient documentation. Investigators found out that Summer had changed her name multiple times throughout her life. Though simply changing her name is not an indication of anything sinister, it did stir up a number of theories that Summer was responsible for the disappearance. None of these theories have been confirmed, though it is possible that Summer was using a different name. There are no records of passports under any of her other names. The entire case left investigators and loved ones completely puzzled. In April 2013, the San Diego Sheriff's Department turned the case over to the FBI, which was more equipped to investigate cases that involved other countries. On November 11, 2013, the remains of 2 adults and 2 children were recovered in Californian desert. 2 days later, the remains were identified as the McStay family. The deaths were ruled as a homicide. On November 5, 2014, Chase Merritt, a business associate of the family, was arrested and charged with 4 counts of murder after his DNA was found inside the McStay vehicle. Prosecutors claimed that the McStay family were murdered by Merritt for financial gain. Merritt is documented as writing checks totaling $21,000 on the family's business account after they went missing. He used the money to fuel his gambling addiction at nearby casinos, in which he lost thousands of dollars. The trial has been delayed multiple times due to him attempting to represent himself and repeatedly firing his attorneys. He had gone through 5 between November 2013 to February 2016. In 2018, the trial was postponed again so that his current defense attorney could do more investigating. He remained in jail without bail. His trial finally began on January 7, 2019, and on June 10, 2019, a San Bernardino County jury found him guilty of murdering the McStay family.